Welcome to Expectations versus Real Estate. If we haven't met, my name is Nate Necochea, and I'm a realtor with Douglas Elliman here in beautiful Orange County. Thanks so much for joining me. Now, let's dive right in. Okay, so we're actually going to be taking a look at 8 different home price forecasts from 8 different companies and comparing and contrasting them with their revised home price forecasts that recently came out. So essentially it's what they predicted in December of 2022 and contrasted with what they predicted most recently. So this information was compiled by Keeping Current Matters, and I find it interesting primarily because it does give you a little bit of a contrast or a conflicting viewpoint of home prices versus what quite a lot of the internet gurus are telling you, and that have been basically what they've been preaching for the last 2 or 3 years. So let's take a look here. First, we're going to start off with, okay, so like I said, here's a look at the new forecast for the rest of this year, showing prices are no longer expected to fall. So let's start with the Mortgage Bankers Association. They originally, back in December of 2022, predicted a little over a 0.5% drop in prices at 0.6%. They are currently predicting there to be no change in home prices. And then if we take a look at Fannie Mae predicted 1.5% drop, now predicting a 3.9% increase. Morgan Stanley predicted a 4% drop, now predicting no change. The most dramatic difference is through American Enterprise Institute, which originally predicted a kind of astonishing 15 to 20% drop, and now they're predicting a 6% increase. Now, that's quite a difference, and that kind of goes along with what a lot of the internet, the YouTube housing market people are telling you, the doomsdayers, as we like to call them. Zillow, 0.7% decrease, originally predicted, now predicting a 5.5% increase. Wells Fargo was a 5.5% decrease, now predicting a 2.2% increase. Goldman Sachs was another big one, which was predicting 5 to 10% decrease in home prices, now predicting 1.8% increase. The Home Price Expectations Survey predicted originally a 2% drop. Now they're expecting a 3.3% gain by the end of the year. Okay, so if we take a look at a couple of the quotes they threw in here, one from Selma Hepp, the chief economist at CoreLogic. Overall home price appreciation for 2023 is exceeding many initial expectations. And then from Doug Duncan, the SVP and chief economist from Fannie Mae, housing demand remains resilient, which continues to butt up against the near historically limited supply of existing homes for sale. Really, that's some of the highlights. Obviously, some of the housing experts were projecting a decline in home prices, but it obviously didn't happen because inventory was just too low. What I find interesting and what we have been seeing here in Orange County is quite a different take than what most people are spouting on the YouTube. I think the biggest issue is that a lot of these entities were overestimating the impact of inflation and mortgage rates and not putting enough weight on the dramatic lack of inventory. See, here in Orange County, at the end of August, I think we only had about 25% available inventory of what we had in 2019. So even in 2019, when we had a more healthy market, at least in terms of month supply of inventory, we're at 25% of that. And when we take a look at the number of homes sold versus between now and previously, it's kind of obvious. You can't sell as many homes when not as many are available. And I think the biggest factor is demand. Now, it appears, the data appears to be showing a decrease in demand, but that's simply because buyers are much more savvy than they were. With interest rates higher, they're less willing to get into a battle over a home price. They're much more picky. And picky is not even the right word, but they're much more focused. Let's just say buyers are much more aware. Okay, there's a lot less wiggle room for them because interest rates are up. So with interest rates being up, they're much less likely or interested in getting involved in some kind of bidding war because their money doesn't go as far. It's not that they're not willing to buy, it's that they're not willing to overpay, they're not willing to compete, not nearly to the same degree they were 2 years ago. Home prices are affected by a number of factors: inflation, mortgage rates, available inventory. But the two things, there are things that inflation and mortgage rates don't take into account. Now, just like through all of time, people have needed to buy or sell property. Inflation, regardless of what the market looks like, regardless of the inflation rates, regardless of the mortgage rates, sometimes a life event, something comes up that means you have to buy or sell. So right now, the super active buyers are the ones that need to do these things. They're not compelled by a want or a faint desire. They're compelled because they need to buy something or they need to sell something. And right now, of the three factors that we talked about, the biggest and most important one continues to be the amount of inventory that's available. And unfortunately, there's not really a clear way, there's not really a clear path to bring enough inventory on to make a significant difference. Fortunately, because buyer attitudes have changed, that's causing the home sellers to have to be much more realistic, much more justified in their pricing. So here in Orange County, with prices stabilizing, still creeping up in some communities, but at least stabilizing, maybe even going, kind of going down and up and down throughout the county, the combination of very low inventory is only being slightly mitigated by the savviness of buyers. So those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. Leave a comment in the description below. Or if you have any questions specifically about your property or a particular community in South Orange County, you can find my contact information in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.